welcome to Fun Fact Friday. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Alzheimer's. But why do we need to talk about that? That's so far from now. I am so not even close to Alzheimer's. I really don't care. As it turns out, Alzheimer's can be traced back all the way through your youth. All the way back through your 20s, your teens, and we're not sure, but it could be probably farther back than that. A very extensive research study that has spanned for decades has followed along a group of nuns who historically have the longest lifespans. They have a longevity that is uncommon anywhere else in society. When the nuns entered into a convent, they were asked to, in their own handwriting, give a biography of themselves. Some wrote very lengthy biographies of themselves, and some wrote very simple biographies. The reason that they had to write these in the first place was so that Mother Superior could decide where their competency is. Now, it may not seem like a big task, but because they were so varied as far as grammar, word usage, vocabulary, it was really a good starting point. The doctor wanted to figure out this link, what made them live for so long. But not just live for so long, what he discovered was it took much longer period of time for Alzheimer's to kick in, by years compared to the general populace. These were more than just record holders for these women entering into the convent. They were cognitive markers, and all of these biographies were kept on file, and you fast forward 60, 70 years, and these women are retired and still living at the convent, and this is when the research study began. As it turns out, the women who had more complex sentence structure and better vocabulary and went deeper into their stories were the ones who not only lived longer but were not symptomatic of Alzheimer's. Women who were more simple and less constructive had developed Alzheimer's earlier or had already died. Another factor in determining the onset of Alzheimer's is education. The nuns overwhelmingly have bachelor's degrees, at least. The bachelor's degree seems to be an important component, whereas the general populace only in the United States only has about a quarter worth of bachelor's degrees or higher. This is much different when comparing to the nuns, who have more of an 80 to 85% bachelor degree or higher rate. It's really too high to ignore. Another factor that played a key role into those who had symptoms and those who didn't is physical activity. So women who were more active, whether it be playing games or walking around and moving, that seemed to be make a huge difference. The more your brain gets used, the more you're using your brain for longer periods of time in your life, the longer it takes for symptoms to set in. So what does that have to do with me now? Well, it's not too late for you to avoid the Alzheimer's symptoms 50 years from now. The key is starting young. So even if you have, especially if you have a history of Alzheimer's in your family, you probably want to start being active, start moving your body, start learning things, keep your brain active, keep your body active. And for those of you who feel like you're doomed to get it because someone in your family had it, there's a very encouraging story of one of the nuns who died when she was, I think, about 106. And she was very physically active. She liked to travel. In the morning, she would get in the warm pool pool and work out her joints because she had arthritis. And then in the afternoon, she would go on walks. She liked to go all around the entire convent. She was a teacher. She had a master's degree, and she liked to go around and talk to everyone. After she retired, she stayed active. She did puzzles. She liked to call people on the phone. I mean, she was just a very outgoing person. When she died, as part of the study, they took a sample of her brain. And in your brain, they put it under the microscope, and they can see just how far advanced the Alzheimer's is. And what happened with her, 6 levels of Alzheimer's activity in your brain, and just how far your brain has deteriorated. And she had the highest level, and yet she never had any symptoms. Even up till the day she died, she was asymptomatic. So it goes to show you that even if it does run in your family, that doesn't mean you can get it. There are other factors that determine exactly how much you're going to get any disease. You can still avoid it to some degree. Like, she had Alzheimer's technically in her brain. You're also never too young to get it, because there have been people who have had early onset Alzheimer's in their 30s. You want to be careful and do whatever you can. So what do you think? Do you know anyone who has Alzheimer's? Or do you feel like you're doomed to get Alzheimer's yourself? Let me know in the comments below what you think of the findings. And I'll provide a link down below so you can read more about it yourself. And if I don't see you before then, I'll see you next week for Fun Fact Friday.